Hello YouTube and welcome. Red Mud here, and today I want to do a short walk around of my 2017 Yamaha Grizzly. It's a Grizzly 700 EPS SE, metallic paint, alloy rims. I've had the bike a year. I've done 1600 kilometers on it. It's got about 40 something hours. There we are, 44.6 hours, 1674 Ks, and I've had a lot of fun. Really had a lot of fun. So, talk about the things that came with its stock, and then I'll talk about some of the things I've done to it. Put a few aftermarket bits and pieces. So it came with this heavy duty brush guard on the front. It's got a worn Pro Vantage 2500 winch with a steel cable. And I also had all the Yamaha Enduro aluminium bash plates added on, so the A-arms, the front, middle and back as well. Still got the stock tyres and stock rims. These are the Maxxis, I think they're what, 26 by 9 or 26 by 8 by 12 on the front and 26 by 10 on the back. And that's about it in terms of what it came with. It's just basically the standard package out of the box. So starting from the top, the things I've done, we've put on a Rox Riser handlebar kit, much better than the stock. Wider bars, easier to turn the bike, slightly higher, not much actually, not much of an increase in the lift. But I was able to push them a bit further forward so I get a better riding stance because I'm quite tall, 6'1", so it makes a difference. They look pretty cool. I like them. They're very well engineered, well made. So everything fitted on. It took an hour tops to do the full installation, take the old lot off and put the new stuff on. So I thought that was pretty good. On the front here, got a black oak LED 20-inch light. It's 5-watt Osram LEDs. This is a combo, what they call a combo, so it's got flood and spot capacity. So the 8 outside lights here, they're your floods, and then these central ones, these are all your spots. So that's pretty bright, it's great, especially at night. We have a lot of things that jump out in front of you when you're riding around here in the dark, so the extra light makes a hell of a difference. Moving round to the back is a bit easier to see. We've got the Elka Stage 3. Initially wanted the Stage 5, but it was quite pricey. A bit expensive, and I spend a lot of time fiddling with things, so I figured if all the adjustable stuff you have on a Stage 5, I'd probably break something along the way. So the Stage 3 came from Elka pre-adjusted, but I found it a bit soft and squishy. So what I did was I've actually added or compressed the springs here. You can see there's a dirt line. I've compressed the springs by 10 millimeters. It's given me a little bit of extra lift, stiffened the springs up, and now I think it rides much better. Doesn't bounce about so much, doesn't squeak. I've got a X-Bull hitch receiver here with a shackle on. I've just zip tied it up to stop it swinging around when I'm driving. And then the Barker Jewels. So these are great, really noisy, and you can definitely feel the extra power. Unfortunately, they interfere with the gas reservoir on the shock, and I've had to bend with a hammer a little indent in here to make some space, because they've been rubbing and banging, and in fact it's actually caused some scuffs on the shock here where the shock spring was bending slightly because the exhaust was being hit. A lot of heat comes off the exhaust, and I think that's going to affect the reservoir as well. So possibly going to have to look at going back to the Barker slip-on and put the stock header in. Unfortunately, it's just a bit of a waste. I don't know, I'm not decided yet. I'm a bit annoyed. I've been putting up with it for a while, but I don't think it's going to do the bike any good in the long run. So we'll see. Coming up on top, open this up. Upside down, I know, but it's the EHS Racing bullet box. Got that adjusted in here. I keep a card with the settings on so I know where I am. I fiddle with it a bit. Had a few issues of running out of fuel because I've had it running a bit too rich. Down here I've got the Rocks oversized foot pegs. These are great. Had a lot of problems with the stock ones. Feet kept slipping off and get cloggy with mud. So I've put these on, and this really helps to keep your feet where you want them to be when you're standing up and sitting down and moving around. Gives you a much better confidence and grip on the bike. And so that's about it. Had to put some header wrap in because of the jewels. They're generating a lot of heat. I've actually melted the plastics back here under the side there. There's actually a bit of melting's happened, so I put some extra heat shielding in. It comes off though. It doesn't stick on very well. I have to keep replacing it every so often. And so that's it. That's what we've got. Like I said, I've had a lot of fun with this. I've been all over the place, up in the bush. The tracks that we ride up here are hard packed dirt, dusty gravel, sand, some rocks, and then from November through to April we have a lot of mud. It rains and rains and rains. We get about 2 meters of rain in 5 or 6 months. Thunderstorms every day. So this September I've got some ITP Blackwater Evolution tyres coming on 14-inch rims. I'm going up a slight size. We're going from the stock 26 to a 27-inch tyre. A little bit more ground clearance and help us in those deep potholes and get stuck in there. I don't do mudding. I'm not really into that. Try and avoid the mud if possible. Don't like getting stuck. It's quite embarrassing actually. You have to call a friend to come and tow you out. But just some slightly more aggressive chunky tyres to help out with that. I haven't got a snorkel kit. I don't need to invest in one. We don't go deep into the mud and skeg like the guys do up in North America and Canada. A couple of things that irritate me, apart from the exhaust, which I've already mentioned, the graphics. First wash of the bike, I've only got a little Karcher pressure washer. It's just a cheap little thing I got from Walmart, but it managed to blast the graphics off. They peeled off quite quickly, so it's only graphics. But under here you can see some of the metallic paint getting stripped off again by the pressure washer. Again over here, so I've stopped pressure washing it now. Just do it with a hose and a sponge. Try and just clean down the worst of it. Do the underside of the pressure washer, try and get any mud or grass or roots or crap that gets stuck around the diff and the CV joints and so on. Try and get that off, keep it reasonably clean, look after it. Another little mod I had to do at the back here. So you see the grease nipples down in here. Replace the straight ones with 45 degrees. I've done it on the top and the bottom, make it a little bit more accessible to grease. I was really struggling to get my grease gun in there because the CV joint and the swing arm, the wishbone, made it very difficult. So that's made a big improvement, so I can now grease this quite regularly. Probably grease it more than I need to. You can also notice on the CV boot we've got this black line here where it's quite clean, and that's just because I've lifted up the suspension slightly, as I said, added those 10 mils with the Elkers, and so the rubber, as the wheel is turning, the rubber actually contacts up here ever so slightly. It's keeping them clean, but I know that that's going to wear through at some point, so I'm just going to have to keep a close eye on that make sure that I don't bugger it up. It doesn't get any dirt or crap in there. And to try and keep it clean, and preserve the life of them. So we'll see. Debated on putting the shocks down slightly, but I don't think I'm going to like the ride, so I'm kind of compromising one thing for another. We'll see how that goes in future videos. I'll be able to report back. But that's basically it. That is my Yamaha Grizzly, customized slightly for my own use and needs. When the new tyres come, we'll do a video on that. See what I can do about the exhaust. I'll have to persuade the wife to let me spend the money. And then I've got a rack bag, an ATV Tech rack bag to go on the back. That's also coming in September. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed. There'll be a few more videos being posted soon. Gonna do one that has a few shout outs to people. So everyone have a great day and take care. Enjoy.